long years, and it's great to be back in New York City. I want to say, Creative Space is all about community. It's all about you. We're all creators, whether a photographer, a cinematographer, an engineer, or a YouTuber. And what binds us all together is the desire to tell a story, for your voices to be heard. And at Sony, we're all about innovation. We have a lot of special guests here today. First, I want to thank our Sony Alpha community who has traveled near and far to be here. Also, we have many team members here that came all the way from Japan, including Oshima-san, who's the head of our global Alpha business. Oshima-san, where are you? Right there. So good to see you. And as a community, we all have an opportunity to make a positive impact. At Sony, we're able to do this through our actions. We're working towards a zero environmental footprint in our products and our business activities. For example, our recently announced ZV-1F camera uses Sony's Sorplast recycled materials, and our Ocean Blue Link Buds that were just announced yesterday are using recycled water bottles.
I'm going to ask for those.
And both of these products use plant-based materials for the packaging. We also can make a big impact on creating a more inclusive community. Everyone has a voice and a story to be told. And we are super proud to partner with incredible next generation creators through our Alpha Female program. Yes, and I have to say thank you to the mentors that are in this room that have made such an impact. After the past 4 years, we provided 60 grants, and later this year, we're going to provide 25 more. And also, as part of Sony's Social Justice Fund, together, we've built a Create Action program. We partnered with incredible nonprofits that are supporting underserved communities. So far, we're fortunate enough to partner with 14 organizations donating $1.4 million in Sony products and funds. And I'm really happy to say that 8 of those organizations are here today. It's an honor to have you guys here. We are lucky to be associated with you, and welcome to our community. Thank you, guys. So, for me, it's really inspiring to work with so many different types of creators. And you may be a vlogger, you may be a DP, you may be a photojournalist, or you may be on a mission to save the planet. But what we're going to do is we're going to continue to innovate our products and our services to empower you to tell your stories. You'll have a chance to experience lots and lots of products and learn all about them today. And we're not going to stop innovating. I'm excited to share with you the next step in the journey together, the next step of the future of imaging. That's why today, I am thrilled to announce our brand new Alpha 7R Mark V. The R series has always stood for resolution and incredible image quality. And I'm proud to say that the new Alpha 7R Mark V delivers our best image quality ever. Woo! Yeah. Next up is going to be Mike Bubala to talk all about the camera, but first, I want you to take a look at a video that was shot on the Alpha 7R Mark V, and it was created and features by the people that are in this room. So I want you to take a look. Let's roll the video. Thank you guys so much.
What is photography to me? I guess you could say it's everything to me.
I think people take photographs to crystallize a moment, to illuminate how they see the world in their perspective.
I got into photography because I was a biologist. My role as a scientist, I felt ineffective, and I thought if I could just translate the work to a global audience using storytelling and photography, then I knew I had a purpose.
There's something special about the human experience. We're all going to the same places, but seeing it differently.
The most fascinating part of photography is how you can put 10 people together in the same room and they will create 10 different images.
Only one person has your eyes, it's you. The way you view the world, nobody else will.
This is our time. It's the most exciting moment ever in photography.
It really is just a passion that motivates me to keep getting up and keep going.
It's part of my daily routine. It's like therapy for me.
In its simplest form, photography is just capturing light bouncing off of objects. But it is so, so much more than that.
This is the stuff that keeps me coming back.
Oh my God. So epic. I don't even know how I'm gonna shoot this.
The fact that you can never truly master photography is one of the most beautiful things about it. You will always be able to improve. There's always going to be something more to work on.
I am a student of the craft. It'll be a lifelong journey till the day I die. That's the beauty of photography. We are a family of storytellers.
How do we follow up to that? It's incredible.
Hey!
Every single time I see that video, I like you probably, just get goosebumps, and I've seen it now 50 times. So it's just inspirational. So thank you to everyone who put that video together. It's just a joy to watch every single time. Like Neal said, R has always stood for the ultimate in resolution. But today, with the R5, it also stands for evolved imaging intelligence, being able to do things that no camera in the industry has ever been able to do before. And the R has always laid the groundwork and the path for all cameras to come. Back almost 9 years ago, the original 7R was the world's smallest and lightest full-frame camera, 36 megapixels. It was a beast, and it laid the path for all mirrorless cameras to come. And then we quickly, believe it or not, that camera actually was the first camera with AI. We were able to do eye autofocus, but with AFS, and it didn't really work out so well. So the next generation, we quickly fixed that. First camera with eye autofocus and continuous. It cheated. You were able to do portraits now and follow the eyeball wherever it went. So now your portraiture and your photo work was just changed forever. And then we quickly introduced even more resolution, higher frame rates, faster speeds, and of course today, 61 megapixels, a designated AI processing unit, 8K, 8 steps stabilization in the body by itself. And of course, now paving the way, not just for Alpha, but for all other cameras with its AI processing unit. And this processing unit enables us to do things just never thought before. Because, like I said, we've had AI before, but we were always taking bandwidth away from the processor and the camera. So we were limited to what we could do. But now having its own designated sensor gives the ability to process a ton of data, being able to access an enormous library and have deep learning to be able to recognize a subject and glue the autofocus to that subject. It just literally changes the way you shoot, and the camera's able to do things that no manual or auto operation's ever been able to do. Human pose estimation. We've always been able to see faces. We've always been able to see eyes, but now we can see the entire body. We can see 20 different points of the body, so we can recognize where the person's moving, how it's moving, and know exactly where the eyes should be. So even if that person's really small in the frame, we know it's a body, and we know to get as close to the eye as possible. Even if the person's backlit or the back's turned, we can focus on the head and be able to get as close to the eye as possible and recognize and memorize movements of the person to be able to know where the eye is going to be. It can see the turning of the head. It can be able to focus and try to track where the eye is going to be because it can see the entire body in profile, in backlit situations, in any type of scene. Even if the person's wearing a helmet or a mask or a uniform, it's able to track it. Beyond just human pose estimation, we have registration and we have deep learning in the sensor to be able to glue itself onto the subject and track it. Even if someone moves in front of them, even if they move in front of someone else, they leave the frame. Think about being a wedding photographer and being able to have the ability to memorize the bride wherever they go and to lock the system onto that bride until you re-engage to something else. Beyond humans, animals and birds, which we've done before, but now we're adding not just eyes, but heads and bodies, and increasing the database by thousands of animals to be able to track animals and birds wherever they go. It's remarkable how well it works, even on horses where the eyes are to the side of their head. It knows it's the eye, it knows it's a horse, and it's able to track it wherever it goes. Even if it's the back of the animal, it knows to get as close to the eye as possible. First time ever, insect recognition. So it can see the body and head of an insect and track it wherever it goes. So like the ugly, gross tarantulas that you're gonna have here, you can track it however you want. I don't like spiders. Of course, cars, trains, planes, we can track those as well. It's able to see the difference between one car and the other and also be able to recognize it and track it wherever it goes. So the possibilities on this camera with subject recognition are just absolutely astounding. So of course, beyond subject recognition, which is the star of the show here, the best image quality in alpha and arguably the industry. 61 megapixel back illuminated sensor, giving it just phenomenal image quality. It was ahead of its time on the Alpha 7R4, and now we're unleashing the power of the sensor with the Bion's XR processing engine, giving us 8 times more power than before. And then we add the AI processing unit on top of that, we're just getting image quality that we've never seen in alpha, that the industry's really never seen. 61 megapixels is a lot of people. It's a lot of pixels. And now we're able to get even sharper resolution. We're able to get even more detail, being able to just get the most out of your sensor. Over 15 stops dynamic range, being able to shoot in a cave and be able to get everything sharp. I love that scene. It's one of the best scenes in the video. But in unbelievable high ISO performance, even at 61 megapixels, we're able to shoot at 12,800 and be able to get images that have almost no noise. Accurate color reproduction, because it's not just about resolution, it's not just about dynamic range, it's about color. And we incorporate on this camera the visible light and IR sensor that we introduced with the 7S Mark III, and we brought it to this camera as well. And then we added the power of the AI processing engine, giving us the best auto exposure and auto white balance that we've ever had in an alpha camera. Because it can tell if your subject, it knows that you're focusing on the head of the subject, and it knows if it's in shadow, it knows if the body's in shade, it knows to be able to recognize it and give you the most accurate white balance and auto exposure.
What?
8-stop stabilization in the body by itself. One of the strongest stabilizing units in the world. And it's so important on a camera like this because we all know when you have a high resolution camera like the 7R4, like this camera, you need to have faster and faster shutter speeds to accommodate for it. Because the more you move, the pixels are smaller, so the more exaggerated the movement is. So having 8-stop stabilization is really incredible and really advances what you can do as a shooter. Beyond that, we work with the stabilizing unit in the lens itself to be able to give you a really crystal clear view through the viewfinder. Active mode stabilization video is just a really good stabilized camera. Pixel shift multi-shooting, it's something we introduced a few years ago. Again, I think it was ahead of its time because you're able to take a 16 image composite, giving you almost 1,000 megapixels of data and outputting a 240 megapixel file, giving you enormous images. But beyond that, traditional sensors like the one in this camera, each pixel only sees red, green, and blue. But the stabilizer unit in this is so sensitive that it can move at half pixel increments, so that way every single pixel also sees red, green, and blue. So you're getting not just resolution, but you're getting color depth, color accuracy that you just can't get with a single image. But it was a little limited before because you could only shoot still lives, architecture, things that just simply weren't moving. But now you're able to see slight movements within the frame, so you can use it for landscapes. I remember when it first came out a couple of years ago, I was like, oh my God, this is game changing for landscape photographers. We're like, whoa, you can't use it for landscapes. Because if a branch moves or a car moves to the scene, it won't be able to recognize it and rectify it. But now it can. So it opens up so many more possibilities for pixel shift multi-shooting. With all that subject recognition and all that power, you need a focusing system to keep up. So we have a brand new phase detection autofocus hybrid focusing system on this camera. 693 points, covering almost 80% of the area. And as much as I like to say this camera is a hybrid camera in terms of video and stills, it's also a hybrid camera in terms of full frame and APS-C. Once you crop into APS-C, you're still utilizing 693 autofocusing points, getting better AI recognition, getting better autofocus. So it's better than just simply cropping in after the fact. You can actually use this camera. If your lens is limited to 70 millimeters, you can now punch into 105. It's a low light monster. Even in low light, you're able to do subject recognition and autofocus down to -4 AV. 10 frames a second mechanical, 7 frames per second electronic, and unbelievable buffer. I couldn't believe this spec when I saw it, but almost 600 frames in uncompressed RAW with unlimited JPEGs and extra files. Over 1,000 JPEGs, that's 61 megapixels. It's just a powerhouse. And of course, for the first time in alpha, focus bracketing. We've never had this in alpha before. So a little round of applause by myself about focus bracketing. Being able to shift, or sequentially shift little small increments of focus up to 299 images to then be able to put into your own editing software or our editing software to stack it together to give you focus stacking. So for those macro photographers, those landscape photographers, those still life photographers, this is something that we've needed for a long time. So thank you so much. 8K 24 and 4K 60p with full pixel readout. Unbelievable image quality. And as we all know, when you see 8K content, it's just a beautiful thing to behold. But not everyone has 8K workflow just yet. So I always like to bring up the fact that I love 8K because I do an output 4K image and I'm able to zoom in and pan, so it looks like a multi-camera setup, but just with one 8K file. That's just me cheating a little bit, don't tell anybody. But 4K 30p and Super 35 with full pixel readout and 6.2K oversampling. And if you've seen oversampling from our other cameras, it just gives you phenomenal results. Like unbelievably crisp and detailed images. It looks phenomenal. And this camera also takes everything from the Bionz XR foundation that the 7S Mark III laid down and brings that to this camera as well. S-Cinetone, 10-bit 422 internal, breathing compensation, etc. are all on this camera as well. Too much to go over. The LCD screens. We always said we can't please everybody, right? We're like, all right, so we have one screen that can go down and up, and then we were like, well, where's the side opening screen? And we always said, sorry, we can't please everybody, but we can now, right? So it goes not up and down like the Alpha 1, but it goes off to the side like the 7S3 and the 7.4, and it just works phenomenal. And even more, you can pull it away from the camera and turn it and move it full 180 degrees while things are plugged in, while your cables are plugged in. So you have a lot more usability than you did before. And it adds almost no weight and no size to the camera as well. So I don't know how they did it, but again, thank you guys. But dual memory card slots, and of course, a 9.5 million dot EVF. We've gotten to a point now where the EVFs are just so good that, I don't know, no offense, but optical viewfinders are just a thing of the past because these are so big and bright and quick and accurate. It's phenomenal. The same heat dissipation that we've introduced with the 7S Mark III, giving us over about 30 minutes of 8K video. So overheating is really something that is just today's news. Magnesium alloy chassis, durable, dust and moisture resistant, and a new shutter capable of over 500,000 shutter actuations. So it truly is a professional device made for professional applications. Of course, E-mount. E-mount has paved the way for the last 13 years, giving us over 70 lenses. And because we make the sensors, we make the processors, we make the lenses, we're able to know what the future is and make lenses knowing what's coming down the road. So all these lenses work on the cameras of today. They work on the cameras of tomorrow because we know what's coming out. And all these lenses give us the ability to resolve for 60 megapixels, shoot video, and do things that other lens mounts just can't do. So it really brings us into the future between the technology of our lenses and the technology of our cameras. And that's the R5. It's just an incredible tool. Kayla, thank you.
Nice suit.
Great to see you. Thank you for that energy. You're gonna need it today. I'm so happy you guys are here today. This is such a special moment. We've been working on this event for 3 years. 3 years in the making, and we're finally here. And who else to share it with than our Alpha family and friends. So thank you everyone for being here. I'm gonna spend just a minute telling you about the space because I'm the only thing standing between you and getting your hands on that beautiful camera. So you may have seen these wonderful shooting sets all around the venue. There are 20 Alpha 7R5s tethered at these sets, so everyone will get a chance to do it. Yes, they're tethered. I can see that, yeah. I had to mention that. If you would like to keep your photos from the A7R5, you can insert your memory card in, take your photos, remember to remove it when you leave. If you happen to be one of the people who does not have a memory card in their wallet, ask a friend. I'm sure someone will help. For lunch, we are serving lunch upstairs at 11:30, so you're welcome to make your way there. There are amazing photos that you can see in the digital gallery that were shot during the making of that amazing video. So you can take a look at what it can do. And there's also a selfie set. I challenge you all to go take a selfie in the selfie set and share it on social, because that's how we do it, right? The event will be done at 1 o'clock, so you have plenty of time to be shooting. There are other cameras around as well. Recently announced ZV-1F, FX30, there's some other FXs, there's even a Venice. So you'll have an opportunity to see all of that. The 2470 GM2 is also on some of the cameras. So check it out, have fun. And at 1 when you leave, we're gonna give you the afternoon off because we're gonna do it all over again tomorrow. So I will consider it a personal favor to me and to the entire team that put this event together. Put a lot of love and sweat, maybe even a tear or two in this event. If you would share, if you would ask your fans, your followers to come visit us at Creative Space tomorrow starting at 10 a.m. There's a lot going on. The first 1,000 people get a free special edition Creative Space shirt. Those of you in the know that that's a vintage, collector's item later on. It's totally worth it. So please share, please invite everybody to come over because look at all this awesomeness. They can get their hands on the A7R5 and they can share and they can say they were some of the first in the world. So thank you again for being here. Please enjoy Creative Space because the playground is now open. Woo!